Well, it's day 2 of giving the algorithm the middle finger. Why? Because I can, and I've chosen to. Other revelations within the last 24 to 48 hours. Number 1, I quit Instagram. Not that I was ever anybody of any sort of significance or following. I think the most followers I ever had on Instagram was maybe 1,300 people. So I'm more than positive Meta doesn't give a shit that I'm not going to be posting on Instagram. At least not posting for what I do with coaching. For me, it takes too much time, too much brain space, and the yield of return is just not worth the effort. And I think honestly, again, personally for me, that yield has been so low because I don't think I've ever been willing to dance around for the changes and the ups and the downs and whatever goes on Instagram. And that's the same for TikTok as well. I've had a few very short, nonchalant bursts of effort, with both platforms, and it's never tickled my fancy. And I think that's a really important thing to do, with your business, is decide on where your strengths lie. What is it that you're going to go all in on rather than attempting to spread yourself thin beyond belief? And so instead, currently, again, you're watching day 2. That's what I said right back at the beginning. I'm going to be doing a daily video in long form for YouTube. The same way like how I used to write for Facebook and LinkedIn and those sorts of places that do appreciate a long form written post. Just the same way that YouTube appreciates a long form video. When I say YouTube, we're talking about humans. We're talking about actual human beings. Maybe yourself, that's watching this right now and laughing along or scratching your head and confused by why this northerner seems to have it in for platforms so much. Well, why do I have it in for platforms so much? Well, it's got nothing to do with the platform. It's got everything to do with me. It's got everything to do with you and what you decide to do with your coaching business, your service business, whatever it is that you do with yourself. So this is not me saying, hey, guess what? Instagram and TikTok are a load of rubbish. Nah, not whatsoever. Instead, this is me just saying, I recognize I don't want to do Instagram. I don't want to do TikTok. It's really that simple. Because there's a couple of other things that I recognize when I go across to Instagram is not only the time consumption of creating the content that, let's be honest, you never really know whether it's going to hit or not. Is it going to reach more than 40 people today? Is more than your mum and your siblings and your wife going to look at your stories? Who fucking knows, right? Also, it's how it sucks you in, right? To looking at just absolute garbage, nothing that is of any value whatsoever. And they've mastered that platform to do that to us. And so also for me, there's losing a portion of my own time and my own life, getting sucked into that doom scrolling thing. And also, I don't want to contribute towards that, because if I want to create content that captures and garners that sort of attention, then I need to make it doom scroll worthy in some sense. So instead, I'll be focusing on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, which is actually really exciting. And I feel quite freed mentally and physically from this revelation. You might think you've not got much going on in your life, Rich, if your revelation is that you're never going to post on Instagram or TikTok again. Well, you might just be right with that assumption. The other cool thing that I love about YouTube, by the way, is that it's kind of unexpected that you leave something in the description for people to take a look at, whether it's your website, whether it's something free that you're giving away, maybe it's an event that's coming up, whatever it might be. And I really like that about YouTube. That's definitely how I use YouTube personally. I will come to YouTube and I will search for things. Like if I'm trying to figure out, like the other day, I was trying to figure out how to fix the Belfast sink that we have in the kitchen. And so I stuck it in YouTube. I was like, how to service, how to fix, how to do X, Y, Z to your Belfast sink. And you know what? It took me like 2 or 3 minutes to find a couple of good videos. And I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. And there's some really great people out on the internet that had been showing guys like me that haven't got a fucking clue how to do it. And you wouldn't do that on Instagram. unless you're a psycho, you wouldn't go to Instagram and search, how do I fix a Belfast sink? No, it just doesn't work that way. So I think YouTube is more useful. It's more utilitarian. And then the bigger personalities, the individuals, influencers, if you want to call them that I admire, I look up to, I've learned a lot from over the years, are also on YouTube. They're not, on Facebook, which I know I said I'm going to be using. They're certainly not in other places, Instagram and TikTok. They will be, and they'll have a form of following. But the type of people that use YouTube and how they use it, and then those that post content and have done consistently, the way it all behaves is just so drastically different. I am not a social media expert, by the way. You can tell by the way that I talk about it. So take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt and everything else that you can pinch on top of that, because I'm not here telling you about stats and this type of thing. I'm just giving you my personal opinion and then giving you how I have observed the platforms change and evolve and how people use them and how we've used them, over the years. Well, what is it that you do, shouty man? Why are you telling us about these videos that you're making every day? Well, I am what you would call an expert, a person with a lot of experience, and I've helped a lot of people over the years. And so pretty much immediately after leaving the military in 2011, I went on this pathway of learning about myself. I had several fitness businesses, and then that evolved into coaching people in a more in-depth way. And now what my wife and I do is we coach people how to make money, but they make money through the means of breaking their old identity and creating a new version of themselves. That's what we've done for a long time. I mentioned yesterday in day one of giving the algorithm the middle finger that I believe experts, people that have genuine experience deserve to have exposure. They deserve to get seen by by their people. It might seem egotistical, for me to sit here and tell you that, I'm an expert and I've got all this experience, but I think that's one of the things that I've personally shied away from for a long time. My wife said the other day, she said, I don't think you actually talk about how great you are at what you do enough. I think you need to mention it just a little bit more. Not so you're ramming it down people's throat in every single video, Rich, which we're going 2 for 2 right now on that particular thing. But I think you do need to mention it. So rewind, have another listen. So I don't know who's going to be picking up on these videos. I'm probably not going to have any views maybe for a long time on these because they've not got a specific topic or something that I am honed in on trying to achieve with them. Right now, honestly, I'm just playing my own game with talking, posting my videos out, sharing my expertise, and I will start giving you some insights on how I've gotten the results that I have done with the guys and girls that we've helped over the last 10 years. And as I get a little bit more fancy with doing this stuff, I'll put some stuff into the description box. So if you want to go and learn a little bit more about us, what we do, maybe find us on some other platforms, you can go and do that as well. But if I was trying to give you something to take away from this and listening to my ramblings and bumblings, it would be decide for yourself what your superpowers are when it comes to how you make content, how you want to create content, whether that's videos, whether that's podcasts, whether that's writing every day, whatever it looks like. Don't be pulled into believing that there's only one way of doing things, or they have to do things this way because this person's ad or this person's video got thrown in front of you. I will never tell you to do that. Instead, my encouragement for you might be, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I couldn't think of anything worse than making a video every day. My youngest dog's asleep and she's now making cute little noises. I don't think I'll be able to get it on video because of the sound reduction inside of this microphone. But if you can hear some whimpering, she's dreaming, she's pretending she's running, and her legs are doing this. But I would encourage you in a really deep and wholesome way to reflect on what are your superpowers? What are the things that get you excited to do, And for me, it's making videos, and it always has been. And I lost touch with that because I started to listen to a lot of other people that are not on the same path that I want to be on, of where the things that I want to achieve, a very different, energetic community in comparison to myself. And I think that's one of the other cool things. I'm going on a rich tangent right now. That's one of the other cool things about getting a little bit older. The wisdom that comes with just traveling through life and age and, being married and having children, just having a few knocks and bumps, as you travel down that road, is it gives you perspective that you can't learn in other places. You just have to get older in order to give yourself, some of this perspective. Anyway, my coffee is going cold, so I'm going to go and enjoy that and start chopping this bad boy up. See you soon.